Hello and welcome to Shippensburg Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine. My name is Kayla and I am the head athletic trainer for the Shippensburg Area School District. I work primarily with the high school and middle school athletic teams as well as the student athletes that participate in those sports. This program that you've clicked on is going to be a three-part series of our overhead athlete program. So this is going to be another injury prevention program as well as just a preparation program for those athletes who participate in sports, whether that be baseball, certain positions in football or softball, whether that's tennis, a whole host of sports, even volleyball as well, with a special focus on those athletes who perform any type of movement or pitching that involves overhead. So again, with this program, we're going to be breaking up into 3 phases. Each phase is going to be lasting for 2 weeks. So we're going to start off with our phase 1, and within each phase, we're going to be going through a dynamic warm-up. We're going to have 3 circuits of different workouts and exercises to complete. There'll be a core circuit, and then we'll finish up with a cool down. So with phase 1, I'm going to take a step-by-step approach through our warm-up. So if you want to follow along with me in this portion, we're going to take about 10 to 15 minutes total. You always want to start off with a good 5-minute jog or on a stationary bike, whatever you have available for you. And then once you've done that, hop into this portion of the video as I walk through our different stretches. We're going to start off with the walking hamstring stretch, and as I announce each one of these, spend about 30 to 45 seconds going through those stretches before we move on to the next. So I will be going through these stretches a little bit quicker than what you should be, so make sure you pause the video whenever you need to. But again, I'll announce the one stretch and then I'll go back and I'll show you how to do that as well. So again, we're going to start off with the walking hamstring stretch first. And you can take those steps in between too if you want. You don't have to do that necessarily. Again, do that for 30 seconds. Next we'll be doing Frankenstein's. So again, just keep going through and stop and pause the video whenever you need to. Next we're going to be doing knee to chest. Hold this stretch for about 2 to 3 seconds in between each one as you pull that knee up to your chest there. Next we have foot to groin. Alright, and the next one is a 2-part series of walking lunge variations. The first one's going to be a forward lunge with a trunk rotation. So I'm going to go to the side. Alright, and then the next one we have is side lunges. And then you just alternate sides. Okay. Alright, these next few are going to be mostly upper body focused. We're going to start with some arm circles. So just start pretty small. Again, you're going to be doing this for about 30 to 45 seconds. So as you go, you can slowly allow the circles to get better. And then you go backwards. Switch it back and forth there. And then next we're going to do the crossbody arm swing. So with this one, just bringing those arms across. You can alternate which one is on top. So with my right arm, now my left arm's going to be on top. And just swing it back. Okay. And then our last upper body stretch before we do a couple other ones is the pendulum swings. You can do this with or without a weight. It's totally up to you. I'm just going to use a weight because I think it's a little bit easier. And you're just going to start, again, in small circles. You can go clockwise. I'm going counterclockwise right now. So if you do counterclockwise for about 15 seconds. And then you'll rotate and go in the other direction. And again, with this one too, slowly try and build up those circles, making them larger as the 30 to 45 seconds goes on. And then once you've done that, you'll switch arms and do the others. All right, these next few are going to be ones that we're going to be laying down. So we're going to be doing leg crossovers. So find an open area. This one's a little bit small, so give yourself plenty of space when you do have this. And basically what you'll be doing is just going to cross over one leg this way, and then you alternate and do the other side. Okay. And then our other one yet is fire hydrants. So you'll get on your hands and your like this, and you can choose whichever leg. I'm going to start with my left leg here. You're going to keep it in a bent position, and you're just going to bring it out to the side, hold for about a second or two, and relax. So do this for about 15 seconds, and then you're going to switch and actually do some hip extensions. So if you can see from this angle here, you'll bring that back. All right, and then we just have a couple plyometric ones yet, so we're going to start off with our side shuffles. Give yourself about 15 to 20 yards to complete these, so the amount of space I have here is pretty small. So make sure you give yourself a little bit more room. And again, you're going to start in a semi-squat position. And you're going to go to the right, and then I'm going to keep this lead leg as the left leg and go back. Next we have karaoke, so again, foot goes behind, foot goes in front. And then you'll go back the other way once you've done your 10 to 15 yards. Okay. And then the last one, or the last two, excuse me, we have high knees. And then we also have butt kicks. Okay. So again, that was our warm-up. That will be the same warm-up for all three phases, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. So for the next two phases, once you get past this first 2 weeks, if you ever need a reference on how to do any of those warm-up exercises, just come back and reference this video. But for now, we're going to move on to our first circuit for phase 1. Alright, so our first exercise for our phase 1 is going to be called wall angels or wall slides. So what you're going to do is you're going to find an empty or open wall, any type of wall, inside your house or outside your house. You're actually going to put your back up against the wall here, starting in this position. And you're basically just going to slide those arms up against the wall and come back down. Okay, and you're going to be doing about 10 to 15 repetitions of that for one set. This is really good for just overall shoulder mobility. But with this exercise, make sure that you keep your head against the back of the wall and try and keep your shoulders in contact with the wall at all times as well. So try and find a wall that maybe is a little bit easier than what I'm using to try and slide up and down on. But again, 10 to 15 repetitions of sliding up and down the wall just like that. Kind of makes you so our second exercise for phase 1 is going to be Y's, T's, and I's. If you aren't super familiar with these exercises, they're pretty easy to catch on to. I'm going to show you 2 different variations, one of which you can be laying on the ground or on a table if you have available to you. But basically what you're going to be doing is, I'll show you the first one is a Y. You'll basically be making a motion with your arms as if you're making a Y. So with the Y one, you're going to be wanting to bring your arms out at a 45-degree angle in front of you. You can use dumbbells with this, resistance band, or strictly body weight, whatever resources or equipment you have available to you, take advantage of that. But if you don't have any, I'm going to show you just with body weight so that way you can get an idea of the movement patterns for each one of these. So again, with the Y pattern, you're like prone on your stomach. You're going to bring your arms out at a 45-degree angle, hold, and relax. Okay. So that was the Y. Again, hold about 2 to 3 seconds at the top there. Really bring those 2 shoulder blades together like you're pinching a pencil or something in there together. Next, we're going to be doing T's. And basically with T motion, you're going to be doing the same thing. You're just going to be bringing both arms out at 90 degrees on either side of you, making what looks like to be a T. And the last one's going to be an I. So with that one, you're going to be bringing both arms out straight in front of you. Okay, so those were our Y's, T's, and I's. You're going to be doing 10 to 15 repetitions for each one. So 10 to 15 for the Y's, 10 to 15 reps for the T's, and 10 to 15 reps for the I's. So that'll be our second exercise. Our third one is going to be resisted internal and external rotation. So with this one, I'm going to be using the pole in front of me. I have a TheraBand wrapped around it. If you have a TheraBand, great. Grab that at this point in time. You can wrap it around a pole like I do, or if you have a bed stand or something else that allows you to use that. But with this one, what I'm going to be doing is bringing the TheraBand up to about waist height here. The main concept is that you want to keep that elbow tucked in at your side. So in this scenario right now, I'm going to be performing internal rotation with my left arm. So any type of TheraBand exercise, the farther away you stand, the more resistance you're going to have, the closer you stand, the less resistance. So with this one, you can obviously gauge to what is challenging for you, but not too challenging since you are doing 3 sets of it, so keep that in mind. But with this one, again, internal rotation, bringing it in across the body if that helps you remember a little bit better. And as you can see, as I'm coming back out, I'm really trying to do a slow, controlled movement, working on that eccentric movement pattern. So that is internal rotation for the left arm. If I want to do external rotation, then I'll switch, and I'm actually going to face away and pull that arm out. And just for display purposes, I'll show you external rotation. This will be on the right arm so you can see a little bit better. Again, with this, we're going to be bringing it out away from the body. And again, focus on that slow, controlled movement on the way back in. Just don't let that TheraBand snap back. Okay? So again, we're going to be doing 10 to 15 repetitions for internal rotation on both arms and 10 to 15 repetitions for external rotation on both arms. And then our fifth and final exercise is going to be wrist flexion and extension. So with this one, you can grab a bench as well, something to prop your arm up on basically. But just as a reminder, all the motion should be coming from your wrist here. Your elbow, your shoulder, all that should be motionless at this point, obviously. We don't want any movement from that area. So with wrist flexion, you're going to have palm facing up. I have a dumbbell here. You can also use a resistance band, whatever is easier for you. And you're just going to curl up that dumbbell. Okay, so 10 to 15 repetitions. Then you'll switch sides and do it on the other arm. So in this case, I'd be doing on my right arm. And then once you've done the 10 to 15 repetitions, in that case, we'll switch over to extension. So basically what you do is you just flip your arm, have palm facing down, and you're going to bring it up. And with any of these exercises, if the reps that I have listed here seem to be too challenging, feel free to decrease them, whether that be 8 repetitions or stick to the lower end of 10. I kind of gave a range there, just from different variability, depending upon each person's ability and things like that. Or if 10 to 15 seems like it's too little, feel free to increase that to 20 or 25 reps, totally up to you. But again, those are our 5 exercises that we have for phase number 1. So I went through and showed you basically 1 set of each, and then you would go back through and complete 2 more sets of each before moving on to our second circuit. All right, so our first exercise for circuit number 2 is going to be wall slides. For this exercise, grab yourself a foam roller if you have one available, and then find, again, a wall that you can prop this up against. What we're going to be doing is putting the foam roller about shoulder height here, and then you're going to stick your forearms here, apply some pressure to try and obviously keep that foam roller in place against the wall. And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be rolling out the wall like this. So perform 10 to 15 repetitions of that exercise. The main things we want to be focusing on is obviously having a sturdy foundation here. But then whenever you are pushing against this foam roller here, really drive those arms up, okay? Maintain that same amount of pressure and tension the whole way through. So again, those were wall slides. We're going to complete 10 to 15 repetitions of that. So our second exercise for phase 2 is going to be the seated row. So if at this time you have your resistance band, feel free to grab that and then take a seated position on the ground. What we're going to be doing is taking our resistance band and the midpoint about that area, stick that around the bottom of your feet, and then gauge about whatever amount of resistance you want. So after that, sit tall with your back flat, and then pull back and squeeze those 2 scapula or shoulder blades together. Basically just picture like you're pinching something in between there. Hold for about 2 to 3 seconds before returning to that starting point. And with this exercise, you're going to be doing 10 to 15 repetitions for the seated row. Third, we have the serratus bear hug. So keep your resistance band with you if you have it. I'm going to be using this pole in front of me, but find something that you can wrap your resistance band around about shoulder width height. And what we'll be doing with that then, once I get this set up here, and then you can kind of crisscross it over. You actually face away from the pole or whatever you have your resistance band wrapped around. And then with the motion of this one, basically what we're going to be doing is you're going to be starting out. I'll bend a little bit so you can see a little bit better. Basically, you're going to bring it out, forward, and up. It'll be the serratus bear hug. So out and up, hold for about 2 to 3 seconds. Bring it back, out, forward, and up. Okay? Again, that was the straightest bear hug. Our fourth exercise is going to be wrist pronation and supination. So this one you can kind of do simultaneously with the other. So pronation is when our wrist is in this position, palm is facing down. Supination, palm is facing up. So with this one, I'm going to show you with a dumbbell, obviously, but you can use a resistance band, or if you have any other heavy objects around the house that you can find, feel free to use those. So basically this one is nice, slow, and controlled movements only at the wrist. Remember, with the flexion and extension too, we don't want any movement from the elbow or the shoulder. Everything is strictly coming from the wrist and the hand. So with this one, you're going to be doing 10 to 15 repetitions in both directions. So in total, you're doing about 20 to 30 repetitions. Again, like I said, you can just do those alternating back and forth. All right, so our fifth and final exercise for circuit number 2 is going to be the overhead forearm extension. So we're going to be using our TheraBand like we did before. Bring it up to about shoulder height or so, or a little bit taller. Again, face away from whatever you have your TheraBand wrapped around. We're going to take about a semi-lunge position, so placing one hand out or one leg out in front of the other, arms extended overhead, and then we're basically having them in a bent position and extend them forward. Again, any type of TheraBand, obviously the farther out you step, the more difficult it will be. The closer you stand, the easier it will be. So with this one, maintain tension throughout this whole time. Again, we're doing about 10 to 15 repetitions. And then what you could also do as well is maybe do 5 to 6 on with the right leg in front, and then you can switch and do about 5 to 6 with the left leg in the front as well, just to get some variation with that as well. So those were our 5 exercises for circuit number 2. Go back there and complete 2 more sets of each, and then we'll move on to our third circuit. All right, now we just have our third and final circuit for our exercise portion of phase 1. We're going to be starting off with some lower extremity exercises, as that's just as vitally important when it comes to overhead athletes, when we're thinking of our pitchers, our throwers of any sorts with javelin or shot put or anything like that. A lot of our power obviously is going to start from our lower extremity and our lower body. So we also want to make sure that we're focusing on building up strength, stability, and agility in all those different areas that are just as important as maintaining upper body strength and mobility. So we're going to start off with some hip 4-way TheraBand. So we're going to be doing flexion, extension, abduction, and adduction. You're going to be doing 2 sets. So remember, for this one, only 2 sets for this exercise, 10 repetitions of each. So I'm going to start with showing you how to do flexion. Again, with this one, just wrap your TheraBand around a pole here. And then you're going to stick one leg in here. And this is flexion, so you're going to be facing away from the pole here. And you're just going to be bringing your leg up just in this manner. So with any type of exercise that we're going to be doing with TheraBand, again, hold for about 2 to 3 seconds at that top portion. Really try and focus on having stability on that opposite leg. So once you do 10 repetitions, on the left leg, then you'll switch and do 10 repetitions on the right leg for flexion. Now we're going to move on to extension. With this one, you're actually going to be facing the pole now. Step back as you need. And you'll keep your leg straight, and we'll kick back just like that. With the leg that has a TheraBand around it, also try and keep that off of the ground the whole time. Unless you need to rest in between, feel free to, but we're going to try and maintain tension throughout that whole time. So again, do 10 repetitions on that leg. Next, we're going to be doing adduction. So anytime you're doing adduction, you're bringing the leg across the body. So you're going to want this leg to be close enough to the pole. And then, again, step away as you need to. And you're bringing that leg across. You can also do these side lying on the ground if that's a little bit easier for you. But the TheraBand is nice to add a little bit extra resistance, or if you happen to have ankle weights, you can use those and then lay on the ground. And then abduction is moving it away from the body, so I'll show that with the right leg. But just as a reminder, make sure you do 10 repetitions of each exercise on each leg. And then the fourth and final one is adduction, so you're moving the leg away from the body. So again, hold out there for 2 to 3 seconds and slowly let it back. All right, so that was our first exercise. Our second one is double leg glute bridges. So we're going to be doing a total of 20 repetitions for this exercise. So feet flat on the ground, knees slightly bent, you're going to be laying on your back. And then what you're going to do is contract those hamstrings and those glutes and drive your hips up towards the ceiling. Okay. Our third exercise is lateral band walks. So grab your TheraBand here if you already have one tied together. This one you can easily stick the TheraBand around your ankles. I'm going to stick this one around my knees since it's a little bit bigger. But basically what the concept is you're going to be in a semi-squat position with the TheraBand wrapped around your knees or your ankles, and you're going to be sidestepping to the right and then sidestepping back to the left. So we're going to be doing a total of 30 repetitions. So depending on if you're limited on space or not, if you have plenty of space, do 15 consecutive steps to the right and then go back 15 steps. Or if you're small on space like me, you can just alternate back and forth one step at a time. But make sure when you are stepping that there's definitely tension on this TheraBand. So as you can see, there's no tension right now until I get some. So right at this point basically is when I have some tension. So again, semi-squat position, gonna step out to the side. So those were our lateral band walks, and then our fourth and final exercise for circuit number 3 is double leg deadlifts. We're going to be doing 10 to 15 repetitions of that. So I'm going to grab my dumbbells here. If you have obviously heavier weights, feel free to grab those, or other heavier objects that you can find around the house, or even resistance bands, you can do that as well. But we're going to be doing dumbbells in the front here with palms facing in, a slight bend in the knees but not too much, and then you're just going to drop those hips back, let those weights sink down, contract those glutes and those hamstrings, come back up and drive the hips forward a bit. Okay, so those were our 4 exercises for the lower extremity for circuit number 3. So go back through and complete 2 more sets of each of those, except for the 4-way hip TheraBand. You'll just do 1 more set of those. And then now we're going to move on to our 2 different core options, which obviously you can choose one. You don't need to do both, but again, I'll walk through each of those for you, so you can pick whichever part of the next 2 clips you'd like to complete. All right, as I mentioned previously there, we're going to move into our core portion of the workout. I have 2 different options for you to choose from. Just to kind of give you guys a little bit of variability and allow you to figure out which one you'd rather do. But for this portion, this will be option number 1. So if you decide to do this one, make sure you follow through with this portion of the video. And then following this option, I'll also post option number 2. And again, if you prefer not to do option number 1, you can skip and do option number 2. So with this one, though, we're going to be doing 4 exercises, all of which we're going to be doing 3 sets for, except for our planks. We're going to be doing 2 sets, which we're actually going to start out with planks. We're going to be doing just your standard front plank. Each of these we're going to be holding for 30 seconds at a time. So find a soft area, whether it's grass or carpet, whatever. And we're going to start with our front plank here. Make sure you keep those hips level with the ground. We don't want them too high, and we don't want them too low here. Feet about shoulder width apart. Again, 30 seconds in that case. Next, we're going to be moving on to the side plank. So I'm going to start on the right. Do 30 seconds on this side. Again, don't let those hips sag. Really don't let them sag like that. Keep them up and level. And then 30 seconds is up. We'll switch to the left side. Okay. And then the 4th and final plank variation we're going to be doing is called up-down. So we're going to be starting out in our front plank position. And then basically what you're doing is you're coming up on your hands and arms just like this into like a push-up position, and you're just going to alternate going up and down. So again, you start in your plank position. Come to a push-up position, and then lower yourself back down. Alternate. Okay. So again, 30 seconds for each one of those. And then next we're going to be doing bird dogs. So with those, you're going to be in this position. Reach that arm out. Come together and do a crunch. Reach out. Come together and do a crunch. And then you're going to alternate onto the other side once you completed those sets. Do the same thing, opposite arm, opposite leg, bring them together into a crunch. And you're going to be doing 10 to 15 repetitions of that. Next we have diagonal dumbbell and resistance band raises. So we're doing 10 to 15 repetitions of this as well. Basically you'll be in lunge position. You're going to start from this side and raise and come up, come down, come up. Really working on that trunk rotation as well as the obliques. Again, 10 to 15 repetitions on that side, and then you'll switch and come up. And then our 4th and final exercise is mountain climbers. We got 30 repetitions of mountain climbers here. So those were our 4 exercises for option number 1 for core. Again, go through those and complete 2 more sets of each, except for the planks, you'll complete one more set for that. All right, this is gonna be option number 2 for core. We're gonna start right off with lemon squeezers. So with these, you're gonna be sitting in this position, lay flat on the ground, and then what we're actually gonna be doing is bringing your chest up off the ground, bringing your knees to your chest simultaneously. Those are lemon squeezers. We're going to be doing 15 repetitions of those. Next, we have bicycles. We're doing 20 repetitions of bicycles. Just alternating sides here. And then next, we have lateral plank walks. So make sure you give yourself plenty of space for this one. I don't have a ton here. But basically what you'll be doing is you'll be starting out in a push-up position. And you're going to be walking yourself over 3 to 4 steps. And then you'll walk yourself back. For 30 seconds. So make sure you also get your phone out at this time, or if you have a watch or anything like that. But again, you'll start in a push-up position, and then you're going to move your right arm and your right leg at the same time and come across. And we'll do 30 seconds for that. And then our fourth and final exercise is leg raises, which we have 15 repetitions for that. Again, you'll lay flat on your back, arms to your side. You'll keep your legs straight and together, and you're just going to bring them straight up in this manner. Okay, so that was option number 2 for core. Again, as a reminder, just choose one of those options. Go through that with the amount of sets and reps that I have listed at the front of the screen for you.
All right, last but not least is our cool down portion of phase number 1.
We're going to spend about 10 to 15 minutes or even 15 to 20 minutes, whatever you have available to you. Make sure you do carve out some time to go through this, because I know this is something that we all tend to skip over once we complete a workout, but it's vitally important that we go through and do these stretches. So I have not an exhaustive list of stretches here, but some upper body and some lower body ones that I'd like you guys to go through after you complete this workout each time you do it. Again, we're going to start off with some upper body stretches right now. So we're going to start off with the sleeper stretch. So this one, you're going to be laying down on your side, just like this. Have that arm in a 90-90 position. You're going to take that other top arm and you're actually going to passively push down that arm. You should feel a nice stretch in the posterior capsule, upper shoulder area there in the back as well. With each of these stretches, you're going to be doing 3 sets of 30 to 45 seconds on both sides. So once you hold this stretch for 30 to 45 seconds, you can switch and do the other side. Next, we have the cross body stretch. So with this one, you're just bringing your arm across the body in this manner. Another great posterior shoulder stretch. 30 to 45 seconds, you'll switch sides and do this one for 30 to 45 seconds. Next, we have the standing doorway stretch. So with this one, I'm going to use the pole in front of me, but obviously find a doorway, a corner of a wall, anything that you can find. You basically be sticking your arms at shoulder height here. Stick your arms in this manner, and you're going to lean forward into that doorway. This is called the pectoralis stretch. You should feel a stretch here in the anterior front portion. Basically where your pecs insert into your humerus there. So next we have our shoulder flexion active assisted. So at this point, if you have like a jump rope or anything like that, feel free to grab it. Basically with this one is you're going to have your arms overhead like this with the jump rope like this, and you're going to bring them back. So we're going to be laying on the ground. So hopefully you can see it pretty well. If not, again, just as a reminder, you'll keep the arms straight up in the air, and then you're going to come back with the jump rope. Okay, and again with that one, you can hold it for the full 30 to 45 seconds, or you can hold it for about 5 to 10 seconds at a time. Bring your arms back up, relax, and then go down. So you can do about 3 sets of 10 for that one as well. Okay, and then we still have 2 more left for the upper extremity. We've got our wrist flexion and extension. So with this one, basically for wrist flexion, you're going to have your hand and palm facing down, and basically just provide some overpressure with the opposite hand, stretching out those wrist flexors. Again, hold for 30 to 45 seconds. And then with wrist extension, have your hand out like a stop sign, and then apply some overpressure to the fingers and wrist that way. Okay, and now for some lower extremity stretches, we're going to start off with our piriformis stretch. With this one, you're going to be sitting in this position. Cross one leg over the opposite knee, and you're going to bring and kind of bear hug that knee right there, and you should feel a stretch right in through this posterior aspect, outer portion of the glute, back into the hamstrings there a little bit as well. 30 to 45 seconds, then you'll switch sides and complete the stretch on the opposite leg. Okay, next we have the lying hamstring stretch. So with this one, I'm gonna grab my jump rope here again, if you have that available. If not, no worries. You can use a different one, whether that's a therapy band or even just without one as well, but I like to use this one to apply a little bit of overpressure. You're gonna wrap that jump rope right here around the bottom of your foot. You're gonna lay flat with this opposite leg, or you can bend it slightly if that tends to release some pressure. And I'll lay here on the side. Basically what you're gonna be doing is bringing that leg up. Make sure you keep that knee straight. That's the most important part. And you're gonna hold for 30 to 45 seconds. And if you would like a little bit more of a stretch, you can move that jump rope up towards the toes and point those toes down. You'll really feel it then coming into your gastrocnemius muscle and your calf muscles as well as they cross over the knee joint. So again, 30 to 45 seconds on the one leg and then switching to the other. Next we have a stretch for your glutes. With this one, I'll lay on the side so you can see a little bit better. You're gonna basically cross over, make an L shape there. You're gonna lay back on your stomach, or on your back, excuse me. Take these hands, wrap them in between those legs, and then pull your hips towards you. Again, you'll really feel this through the outside portion of your glutes, as well as the posterior aspect of your leg. All right. And then last but not least, we have our IT band mobilizations. So with these exercises, if you have a foam roller, feel free to grab that right now. IT band seems to always be pretty tight on a lot of athletes. It is a band of fascia, not necessarily a muscle. So it's something that we really want to make sure that we focus on as well, because that can also contribute to a lot of unneeded injuries and just pain overall related to the knee. So with this one, you'll be laying on your side. Pick whichever leg. You're obviously going to be doing both legs. I'm going to start with my left leg here, and then I'm going to be starting down here, just rolling back and forth along that IT band. Do about 30 to 45 seconds on the one side, and then you'll switch and do it on the opposite leg as well. If you tend to find a really tender spot, if you feel like you can hold it there, actually try and hold it for about 5 to 10 seconds. Really try and relieve that tension in that area, and then continue rolling it out. Okay. So again, spend about 15 to 20 minutes going through that cool down. Again, I kind of ran through it quickly, but I just wanted to give you a brief overview of each of those stretches, especially if they are ones that you aren't super familiar with. But again, thank you for visiting Shippensburg Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine, and you've now completed phase number 1 workout. Again, complete these workouts for about 2 to 3 times per week for 2 weeks, and then once your 2 weeks are up, you can then move on to our second phase for the overhead athlete.